A very good evening to everyone, and welcome to the fifth episode of our Proppy Podcast. Welcome tonight. We are doing something quite different as well. We are killing two birds with one stone. We are recording our Proppy Podcast to be broadcasted on Podbean as well as YouTube, as usual, on our Sunday podcast session, as well as having our live Zoom pitch session. So I really want to welcome all the Zoom attendees who are actually here right now live. If this is your first time as our guest, you would have been invited by one of our propians who is probably also one of your hintai or your close friends, your brother and sister. We really want to welcome you. We would thank you for taking your time out on a busy schedule on Sunday just to be with us for the next probably 60 to 90 minutes. And tonight we have two amazing guests. First of all, let us welcome our first time presenter, man, Mr. Charles Lee. Hi, Charles. Good to have you here. Charles is also our property shadow, and he also works with one of the largest property agency in the world. So it's so honored. I'm so honored to have you here, and we're going to talk a little bit more, and you can share some of your thoughts with regards to property and the future moving forward. Where is the industry going to go, and why property and what property? And of course, we have again with us the gorgeous, the beautiful, the sensual, the sensational, the Vava
Oh my God.
Vo.
Thank you. Very glad to be here again.
I see. I can't even finish.
I have to stop you.
You have to stop me, is it? Thank you very much, Dr. Vivian
Okay.
Chong, for coming here again to be with us. This is the
Thank
second time
you.
on the Proppy Podcast. I told you you're going to be here very soon. They will both assist me in this presentation tonight, lah. So what are we going to do tonight? We are going to be focusing slightly different. We're trying to make it as informal, as formal as we can, with regards to telling people what is property, why property, and how do we get involved into property. I think this three key things that we're going to be focusing a little bit more for tonight. You know, the why, the how, and the what lah. With the hope that after tonight, you will begin to understand a little bit more what property is. But of course, if you come for the first time, or even if you're listening in from the first time on our podcast, you will find out that actually it's very extensive, and probably one time is just not enough. You probably need to listen to us a couple of times before you actually understand and really grasp what is it that we are actually trying to do. But some housekeeping announcement, yeah. Do keep your video and your audio muted until after our session. We will also be opening our Zoom session for those of our Zoom audience. Please do not go away. Once we are done, we would like to also open up our Zoom audience for questions and answers. And if you are first time here, we also want to acknowledge your friends who have brought you here, and maybe also get to know you a little bit better. Like I said, this session is going to be about 60 to 90 minutes max. But of course, a lot of people normally stay on after show, just like how in the movies, they all, when everybody goes off the goes out the theater room, and they will people hoping to catch that last glimpse of things that happens. And yeah, sometimes we do have an after show. If you want to stay on, we welcome you, and we invite you to stay on as well. If you have any other sharing as well. So I'm just going to continue, and I'm going to start off first. My name is Ivan. I'm the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of ProppyApp, and I'm more than glad to actually be hosting this session. So this is what we're going to be talking about, the why, the what, as well as the how. And I think if you've listened to that video is actually a really amazing video, and that video has been going around on the internet. I'm not sure whether you realize that that's actually 25 years ago, in 1994, 1995, when it was an interview that was actually done on Good Morning America, and it was NBC, if I'm not mistaken. And at that time, you will realize that when the internet came into into the global scene, I think a lot of people were actually amused, also wondering what is internet. But if you really look back in time, and I'm going to take you back to 1995 at the same time as well, when we first got to know what internet was. For me, I was mesmerized. Internet really revolutionized the way we communicated. We started to understand what is www. We also really understand what is this, the emails. And I'm sure if you were in the university as I was, the Internet Explorer was the main uh, internet explorer that we were using, other than Netscape. I don't know whether you guys are still aware of Netscape. No, that was amazing at those times as well. Charles, were you using Netscape at that time?
Yes, yes.
All right, and of course, that was in 1995, and within 5 years, the explosion was crazy, because by 2000, we had a bubble, and it was the dot-com boom. Everybody was clamoring onto the internet, getting the HTTP, and then getting your internet addresses. And if you have a company or a business, and if you do not have a .com or a .com.my, you will be considered backward, and you have to have a website, and that was the big thing. There was the .com boom at that time. And of course, when we are looking also after that, and in 2007, now this was the beginning of a new revolution. In 2007, you had the apps revolution, because of the emergence of the iPhone. I'm not sure where were you when the first iPhone was launched. The iPhone first generation. Not sure whether you have that phone. I was dying to have iPhone, because it was game changer. It was not just a disruptor, but it was a new revolution into the mobile scene. I remember when I was got my first mobile phone, that was mobile Windows, and that was before 2007. HP was the main thing at that point, in those days. And when the Apple came out with the iPhone, it totally changed the rules of the game, and that began what we call as the apps revolution as well. And within just a couple of years, and you look into what's happening in China. I remember back in 1995, when I had my World Youth Leaders Conference. At that first moment, when we talk about China and the internet, we all hear about the Great Firewall of China. And but it's interesting, because within such a short period, they started to emerge as a real global player, and started the first QR code and mobile payments through Alipay in 2011, and WeChat Pay started in 2013. And where the rest of the world was still oblivious about mobile payments using QR Pay, China was already, emerging as a real global player in the tech scene. And they started to have this, with that came the rise of the mobile revolution, where Samsung, Huawei, and all these phones, giant phone manufacturers started to clamor into the scene, and when people started to understand, that your whole internet is now at the palm of your hands, with Facebook and social media really changing the entire landscape of our tech world. And why did I start off with this? Um, I think I wanted to set the stage also, to let our audiences understand what the trend that is actually happening in the last 25 years, and how our world has changed, the way we communicate, not just the way we communicate, the way we actually interact with the world, how we actually do business. And if you look into 2020 right now, this where we are. Of course, we are in 2021, but looking back until 2020, with our global population at 7.75 billion, there is actually 55% that is urbanized. That means people who are living within large cities and urbanized centers. There are 67% penetration rate in terms of mobile phone users, which means that the penetration rate is so high, at 5.2 billion. Internet users is at 59%, which is 4.54 billion, and social media users is getting more and more and more. I think the number has definitely increased since last year, which is I think a historic year for all of us. We are all stuck at home, and as a result of being stuck at home, a lot of things actually has changed as well. And one of the things that has changed is that it has shifted consumer behavior. There is a tectonic paradigm shift in terms of consumer behaviors. In the past, when we are so used to buying things physical, going to the malls, going and buying things, using cash, and of course the whole notion of internet has opened up a new field of online marketing, and people buying online was unheard of 25 years ago. We would not have actually thought that this is going to be something that we will be not just used to, but it's accustomed to. But if you actually look at the rate of our Malaysian adoption, there's 88% of people who search things online, either for a product or services to buy. 88% also have visited either an online retail store on the web or any other device. 75% have purchased a product or service online or any other device. 58% have made an online purchase, which is very close to 60%, via your mobile device, and 44% have bought things from your laptop and desktop. Now, the last two statistics is really, really interesting, because it has actually seen a shift from from laptop and desktop towards mobile. So we are now doing a lot of things on our mobile phones. I think a lot of us are also doing businesses on our mobile phones. In fact, if not for the small little screen, I would also use my mobile phone and actually use it as a workstation. In fact, that is something which a lot of people have already moved towards as well. And looking at this situation, what is this alluding us to? The fact that actually a lot of industrial and market game changers are tech-based companies. And if you look at it as well, if I were to ask you to do a little bit of comparison, if I were to ask you, and if to think back in the current situation, what do you know? If we are talking about ride sharing, what is the game changer in the ride sharing industry in this market? I'm sure a lot of people will say it's in this region will be what? Charles, Vivian?
Grab for us
Yeah,
is like Grab.
obviously you were talking about Grab or Uber. When Uber was still here, I know. Of course, there were people. Which one would you prefer to use, Uber or Grab?
We only have one option.
Right now we're not sure, but when we had two, which one do you prefer?
Actually, I did compare before I take a
Yeah.
ride before.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we are around now only left with Grab as a ride sharing option. But of course, there is Uber. Uber was valued and a market capitalization of $78 billion worldwide, and it's amazing as well. Of course, you've got other e-hailing services in Indonesia. You have Gojek in other places, but of course, you have Grab in our region, which is actually capitalized at 10. The amount raised for Grab was 10.1 billion USD, and that is such a huge amount, and that is actually a very interesting concept for us to actually understand as well. Now, what about hospitality? What about lodging? If I were to ask you which company comes to mind, if we talk about hospitality and lodging.
Airbnb.
Yep, Airbnb. And Airbnb is capitalized at 18, the valuation for IPO estimated at 18 billion USD. Now, if I were to say retail and e-commerce, what is the company that comes to your mind straight away? Pop quiz.
Taobao.
Huh?
Taobao.
Taobao. Anymore?
Yes.
Okay, Taobao. Not big enough.
Alibaba.
Yep, Alibaba. And Alibaba had a market cap of 838 billion. And this is an online marketing portal, a platform. Anyone bigger than Alibaba?
What about Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon is the second largest, I
Yeah.
think second or third largest company in the world. And it's valued over at 1.5, the market cap is at $1.57 trillion. Uh, Payment and e-payment gateway will of course be Ant Group. They almost they were estimated IPO valuation. They wanted to go and have their IPO last year, even during the peak of the pandemic, and it was valued. The estimated IPO valuation was at 313 billion. Uh, and the last one, of course, I had to put this in. I had to put this in just to give us a trend. I mean, if you look at all of these numbers, what is the current trend here? What is the main thing about these companies? What kind of companies are these?
Tech base.
They're all tech based. And why do you think so? I don't know. I'm just gonna throw. I'm gonna throw you guys, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Why do you think this is so? I mean, why it's so obvious because it's like this is all tech companies. But why do you think these tech companies are making so much?
I think tech companies are feeling a lot of gap that the market wanted, right? And the traditional brick and mortar couldn't fit in. So I
Yeah.
think this tech company are being created. I think every of the tech company are being created to give a solution to challenges or the problem that the market facing. That's why when they're able to solve a problem and um, yeah, I think people will just adopt it. I think especially during the COVID, we have seen things that change. Even for myself,
Yeah, man.
I think before this, you don't even buy fish online, right? Right?
Yeah, man, fish, prawns, you're buying things online using WhatsApp, using all of that. But I think the cornerstone and the main thing that we are trying to also, I mean, we are seeing is that there's a huge shift, like it's a change. I mean, change happens, and it's interesting because we're talking about change, game changes. It's changing the way we actually do things, our behavior, and humans do change, and technology has expedited that change into making things easier, making things more accessible, things that we do not were not able to have. Now we could have it so easily. I think it made life so much easier. I'm not sure whether you enjoy your life right now, but I don't know if I were to live 100 years ago. I don't know how I'm going to live, man. If I were to be born 100 years ago, but
Yeah.
now looking back at at what we are saying, property listing and buy and sell. What are the companies that are also game changers out there?
Mm.
Alex Lim is sharing in the chat box. iProperty.
Wow, thank you, Alex. Wow, nice. We have our Zoom. Yeah. All right. Question. Yeah. Interesting. Yes. Yes, we have. Any more?
Zillow.
Hello. Of course, we have Charles who actually deals with the property and the property app. Well, if I were to also look into this, well, let me just. So the question is, what are the game changers in this field? The property app. Yeah, there are property app, and there are property app players as well. Now, I'm gonna ask you. So you say iProperty. So can you give me your rough estimation? Maybe I want to ask some of you who are actually on the Zoom. Alex, if you've answered, if I were to ask you, if the iProperty, what would you think is their valuation? Let's pop quiz. Anybody can answer. I'm going to give you 100 Proppy points. uh, anybody? Got
Okay.
answer now? Is there an answer
Yeah,
there?
got.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
an answer.
about 10 mil, Alex saying. About
10
10
mil.
mil.
10 mil what? Ringgit Malaysia or USD? Alex say 10 mil. Okay. Wow, very modest. Any other answers? I cannot ask you, Charles, because you know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've seen. All right, okay. Maybe just to let you all, So iProperty was market valuated at acquisition at 543 million USD. And of course, you've got market valuation for Property Guru. Property Guru is also iProperty and Property Guru are more regional based. Their presence are in Malaysia, in Indonesia, also in Singapore, and
I
similarly
think
with
Southeast Asia region.
Southeast Asia
Yeah,
region, most of
more
it.
like.
Yeah, they are I would say the market players lah. And of course Property Guru is valued at acquisition at 344 million. This started for iProperty was in 2007, whereas Property Guru was founded in 2006 lah. So as we actually expand our region, what other players are out there? And I've got to ask Charles, because since you are property shadow who knows a lot more about property. What other players are out there that you know?
Yeah, I think the more better known one on the international, or I
Yeah.
think US is a very big market.
Right.
I'll put it in Zillow. Zillow is one of the one that we always look at and
Yeah.
benchmark against.
All right. Any more other than Zillow?
Uh, Other than Zillow, the China one, actually they're huge, right?
Yeah.
Even just within China, but
Just within China, right? You have not dealt with them
yes,
as well?
we can't even go near
You
them.
can't
I think
even
they are
go
so
near
huge. They are so huge.
What other do you know of any? What about Australia? Do you know anyone, any player over in Australia?
REA Group.
REA?
Yeah,
And
REA Group. Yeah.
and give
I
me a
think
rough estimation.
REA Group is also, I think, own iProperty.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
region.
that's right. That's right. It's
Yeah.
because of them that actually gave them this valuation. So if you look at it over in the UK, it is Rightmove, and the market cap is at 7.5 billion USD. REA actually a group the total group is at 15.3 billion market cap. And of course, Charles keep talking about Zillow. I asked him from the moment he said Zillow, he straight went for the jugular. But Zillow is not the largest, yeah.
Yeah.
Zillow is only not even half of Baker. Baker. And Baker is at 77 billion market capitalization, and Zillow is at 34 billion. Okay, I'm gonna ask the property guy here. The property guy. We don't we don't to use the word PG PG property guru. We use the property guy. Oh, okay, Charles, you've been given this moniker. You're now known as the property guy. All right. So why do you think their market valuation is so high?
I think that why they have the high valuation is because they also have the consumer reach, right, in the market. I think that translate into the capitalization, that how much they earn revenue on year basis, and that is a reach. That I think part of that is also the brand, the brand value. That's why people see that as something that I think sometimes valuation is also based on how do the investor feel about this, right? And
Correct.
What's the future if they invest into this company? And when I look into, can I also share about this? When I look into their platforms and the technology that they have, they are actually just a listing portal.
Yeah, it's amazing that even just and this is exactly what I was going to be alluding to as well. Now, if you look at it, they are just a listing portal, isn't it? Looking at where they are, and I'm just looking at iProperty and Property Guru in itself. There is a common base layer. So if you as a property agent or agency owner as well, why would you want to use these platforms?
I think there's no choice. Like those days, I share a little bit on when I came into the industry in the late 2000s, 2010. I think those days when we advertise on paper, we still get calls, right? Then eventually, this came out as one of the solution that to reach the consumer faster, and then I think because it also have changed how people look for property and listing. I think those days is quite useful, and I think currently they are not really so tech, right? They're just listing, and as a consumer myself, because last year before I make a move to a new place, I did look at these two portals.
Yeah.
Basically, before even I spent, actually, if you look at their report, right, even their investor relations report, average consumer spend on their portal is basically about 3 minutes and a half. That's the average. Means people go in, they look at it, they got fed up, then they left. They look at it and they don't feel convincing, then I think they'll have left because I think the quality is still not there, and they couldn't solve the solution of. I mean, put myself as a consumer. I go in, I have my. I think every one of us sometimes when you look for a property, you have your own criteria.
Mm.
But when we go in, right, when we do all this filter, and yeah, maybe today is not right for me, but tomorrow if I want to go in again, I have to do the search again. Whatever I have view, I cannot just filter it off. And this I think frustrates people going through. I mean, sometimes it's not the first day you able to get your dream home or you able to get the house that you wanted. And imagine going in for next 1 week or 2 weeks. I think that is a very big task. So
So basically, it's only used as a yellow page lah, just to
yeah,
list for you to go and find property that you want to have a look. What about you, Vivian? Do you use this iProperty or Property Guru at all?
I used to find property for my ex-boyfriend. But after looking for the property, and then after getting everything done, then of course I've deleted
Yeah,
the app lah. Yeah, because I don't need it anymore.
that's right.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
also deleted the X as well lah. So that was
Yeah,
fun.
correct.
Wonderful as well. That was like a big news to the whole wide world. Thank you very much. So it's like, yeah. Anyway, this shows also. I mean, it's interesting to note that even at this layer, at this level, it is only a listing feature where you just list to buy or sell or rent, and you are connecting with a lot of agents and agencies and buyers. But I think there's one a very important player that is not connected here in this whole ecosystem, isn't it? There's something missing in this. There's one person that is missing in this whole ecosystem.
yeah. I think I can see that that's the property owner.
And why are the property owners not on this
Yeah.
ecosystem?
I think that's the way that they built that. They're forgotten. Actually, property owner is one of the very important person that they should include in. Right?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because actually, at the same time, they can within this platform in this ecosystem, they still can raise 543 USD at market acquisition. I think, and even at Property Guru as well, such a high valuation with only one layer and within this region, goes to show that even people who do not use it after use it at such a low rate at 3 minutes, there's a huge potential market that is there. Correct. And I think this is where, but there's also a problem, and the problem here is that the engagement is a little bit low. Once you've used it, there's nothing that will keep you going back, at the risk of really throwing shade to this too. I think they have done really well to reach the level that they're at, and it does also serve a purpose to the market. But what do you think is the problem, Charles?
I think the problem is um, they don't need to reinvent or innovate because everyone thinks they are these two portals
Hmm.
is the best, right?
Yeah.
And if when I look at that, they've been the same since the day that I
Since
joined
the day
real
they
estate.
started as well.
To today, maybe they charge more, right? So
Mm.
yeah, 10 times more than before. So that's how they increase their revenue. And
And if you want to talk about being game changers, I think this is something which we want to highlight first, for those of you who are listening. And sometimes, it's very important for us to see what it is out there, what is the market presence, and what are some of the things that we probably need to identify. I think it is very irresponsible of us to just say, oh, okay, no, just let it be. But at the same time, there's also a need that needs to be filled, isn't it? That there is a
yeah,
need moving forward. We are now going into the 21st century. We are now doing a lot of more interesting things. People are going online. People are buying things online. There's a lot more in technology. We're talking about IR 4.0 that is moving to IR 5.0. Yet at the same time, it's so weird that when we go to our iProperty or Property Guru or these property-based apps, they are still so 2000s, isn't it?
yeah, they're I think if you put in a context, I think they are just like newspaper, but in digital
format.
Right?
Yeah, which is more like a yellow page now. Which I guess in a way segues quite nicely to the next question. So what is it that will change this, and why do we think, or why do you think that the next moving forward, before we go to that, it's interesting because this last year, 2020, has completely upended a lot of companies as well. You know, whether or not they pivoted online or they did not pivot online, whether or not you actually have a business model that is perfect in the last 20, 25 years, actually last year has completely changed all that. It has, it's like a tectonic shift. The global pandemic has also accelerated the move towards digital transformation. Everyone nowadays seems to be more adept in utilizing their mobile phones. Last time I remember when people talking about, hey, if I actually use online banking, I don't use online banking because I'm afraid that people will, steal my money or whatsoever, and paying and then not using cash. Interesting, if you actually go online and actually, when I was doing my research, and we were doing and trying to understand exactly since when did China move into cashless society. I'm not sure whether you've been to China, but it is scary, right? Not scary, actually, it's interesting that actually you go, you can't even buy things because the people who are the retailers on the street do not even want to accept your cash because they can't accept cash. Have you done your business? Have you done any business, or have you visited China recently?
No, I think that the time when I went, I think more than 10 years ago, they are still okay. Smaller city, they still accept cash.
But I think recently it's not, because nowadays everybody is not being they use all mobile payment, whether it's WeChat Pay or Alipay or others. But I think this pandemic has totally changed a lot of people's perception and mindsets towards accepting going cashless, or even going tech, going digital.
I haven't had cash in my wallet for a few months already. Until recently, I got my ang paos.
Okay.
And your ang paos are digital ang paos, is it?
No, it's not like not yet, but I think probably soon.
You should ask for digital ang paos right now. We don't accept cash anymore. We only
I need
accept
a little bit of
cryptos.
cash still,
Yeah, because everything we are buying online, correct? We buy
Yes.
whether it's through Grab or whatever, and this totally changed the behavior. And as a result of this, actually, three major businesses will thrive moving forward, and these three major businesses is logistics and packaging, because you got to do a lot of delivery. You will still need to do a lot of delivery, even though you order from home, you order online, but still there will be a lot of movements moving in and out, and therefore your logistics and packaging will be a huge growth when it comes to what are the businesses that will moving forward that will be very, very big. I think next is also healthcare and sanitization services, because now people are getting very careful, in order to go out to eat in restaurants, are they sanitized? And you need to have a lot of all these healthcare services and sanitization services. And the third major one is, of course, your digital marketing services. That means everything that will be your portal, your platform, your infrastructure moving forward, and utilizing the technology that we have, the future technology of AI, IoT, and how all of that is actually going to move slowly into, if it's not already permeated into the entire ecosystem, in terms of being able to track your all your logistics, your delivery, and even where you are. It's amazing yet scary, isn't it? Right?
Evan, can I add in as well? I think for the past, in 2020, a lot of consumer get smarter as well. I think before this, people always try to put technology aside, right? You look at what's happening is right now it's okay that for you to check in and to be tracked. And I have conversation with people that in the past, because I always do Zoom conversation, we teleconferencing. I think since the 2006, we call it unified communication. That's by Microsoft. So I was one of the first one that promoting this technology in Malaysia. And I think those days people say that why should I do that? Even last year before the pandemic, 2019, when I want to Zoom with people, imagine Vivian, if I wanted to Zoom with you, you think that this Charles must be crazy, right? This guy, why this guy wanted to look at me? Just telephone will be good enough. I think
Yeah.
it bring speed up the whole thing, that you are okay, that you look at today, all of us, 30 of us don't have to rent a room, but we just go into a digital platform
Yeah.
and all of us meet, right? And looking at what's going to happen in future, I think that is
And
a new
and
perspective.
interestingly, also Zoom, the CEO of Zoom became an instant billionaire because of everybody started to use Zoom. Zoom is not new, but they created a platform for people to you have to use it. Schools go to Zoom, meetings on Zoom. Of course, nowadays you have more alternatives, MS Teams, whether it's Google Work, whatever that you have, but still Zoom is still number one line in some ways, which is good as at the same time. So this brings me to the next question: why Proppy? And I think it's also important for us when we talk about this, the lead up to this, why it's so important for us to also understand where this is coming from. And it's interesting because when we talk about change, we're talking about two things. First is an evolutionary change and a revolutionary change. So what is evolution? Evolution means it takes time, it changes over time. That's why it's evolution. And evolution is very, very slow. And what is the difference between evolution and revolution? Revolution is rapid evolution, meaning it's exponentially, it just pops up so fast. And that is where I think Proppy is going to revolutionize the property app scene, because I think players like Zillow, Baker, iProperty, and Property Guru, they have gone through. They played their part in evolutionizing this acceptance. But 25 years the internet until now, but we are going to also see a new growth in the next 25 years. This pandemic really has it's, I think, that turning point for human acceptance towards really revolutionary this digital transformation. And that is why I think in a sense, why Proppy? Because even though we are going to go into a full tech digital reliance, there you will still need a home. Everybody will still need to stay in a home. Even though we cannot go out, we still stay in the home to order, which means that whether you are renting a house or renting a room or even owning a house, you will still need a home. But if you are stuck in the home, and we are still stuck in the home, what can you do to not just work from home? What can you do working from home? Can you make money at the same time? And what about saving money? And that is where we started to craft this carefully and say that there are three things that we want to achieve. We want to create a one and only multifunctional app that allows you to, number two, save money and make money. Three, from your property and other people's property. I repeat, there are three very big chunks of concept here that you need to understand. Why Proppy and what is Proppy doing? We are creating a multifunctional app, a super app of sorts that allows you to save money and make money from your property and other people's property. And so this is basically the elevator pitch now. So when people ask you, so what is Proppy doing? Simple. A multifunctional app that helps you save money and make money from your property and other people's property. Huh? Yao kam ke si ah? How can you do it? Interesting. That's why we want you to listen carefully lah. Right. This is where I do my draw minyak. But actually, if you really listen carefully and you peel it off, then you can understand exactly what this really means. And I want to actually take you through slowly. Of course, we have spent a lot of time really building this up and getting you to understand why. So basically, we are looking into three very broad areas when it comes to creating a super app. So what is the thing that really gets people to come in is when we talk about the marketplace. And this is where I think, Charles, you're very used to the I company and the P company and the Zillows and the Bakers, because it's a listing, isn't it? Where you're talking about buying and selling. So we have a I wouldn't say it's a MVP, because I don't like to use minimum viable product, because minimum viable product means it's like, cincai cincai we give it. I would call it a minimum requirement. I mean, product, then, in the sense that it is already workable. We already have our app, our alpha version that is actually up, and you can already download this app. And this is on the right side, if you can see. Of course, we are going to have a special announcement later tonight to tell you exactly what's going to happen. But if you actually download the app right now, you can already fiddle with it and play around with it, and also do a lot more stuff, because we already have a product. It's not as if we don't have that product. But this product that we have is a digitally native product that, of course, supports the buying and selling that is out there in our marketplace, which means that anything that involves buying and selling, whether it is buying and selling your house, or buying or selling equipment or items, or even use or pre-loved items, that is formed under our marketplace. And this is going to be very crucial, because this is our base layer. This is where, if you're asking, the portal, how do you make your money, this is where the huge chunk of it is from there at the same time. But we also realize that there are other peripheral services that may be required when you are talking about your homes. I'm sure there are a lot more other services that is out there, and that will keep people coming back and engage with the app. And when we put this under Proppy Cares, which means it's like home care services, survey repairman, and all of the other peripherals, and this can be an A to Z of services at the same time. And if you are familiar with other apps out there, they're like, Gaotima, or all the other apps that are, or muda.com, they are almost similar in that sense. Yes, there is an existing platform, but the thing that is different is that it is not integrated. All right. And this is where we feel that as a super app, it actually provides a lot more value to the users. And the value is that you can really do a lot of things here. You can do your business here. It's also, it's an opportunity and add value to the merchants, the tradesmen, and all of that as well. And finally, we have one, and when we think about when you create an app, the most important aspect is, how do we enhance our user base? Obviously the user base that is the most important thing. I think a lot of traditional investors will be asking, okay, where's your user base? And this is where I think it is a new twist into this whole concept, where we actually have a mortgage optimization plan, which I hope that later on, if we have time, we will already run through. And we believe that through this mortgage optimization plan and understanding of how this affiliate marketing model works, it actually will help create an organically growth network for this app to be to be revolutionized, in the sense that to be shared and to be exposed to the entire market as well. But I think the most important aspect between all of these three is that, traditionally, if it's just an app that is just based on this tree, it's just going to be a simple, and it's just going to be a regular app. But if you're going to prepare an app that will last for the next 25 years, that will take its evolutionary process, we can already take these three modules and revolutionize the current market as a game changer. But the true game changer is the technology that is actually driving and powering up Proppy in itself, which is actually the AI functionality, the artificial intelligence. So actually, if you want to know, Proppy app and Proppy as a company is not a property-based company. Proppy actually is a data company that is actually going to help us do business on this app through its AI functionality, and which we call our butler. The AI will be able to track the information, and information is king in the internet. And this is where we can actually also assist the marketplace, assist the Proppy Cares, assist the mortgage optimization plan, and assist the users to be able to manage this app in the most efficient manner. So obviously our first module is marketplace, and this is where I would really like to hear Charles's view, because obviously you would have used the traditional apps that you probably and why and what is it that is actually missing in those apps that you think we within Proppy will be able to fill the gap.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to share is I think most of the apps in the market are event triggered.
Mm,
Um, so just now, like I mentioned, you need to go into the app, you need to filter, and then that thing will search the result and pass it to you. I think with the artificial intelligence, it can also predict certain trend and recommend
mm,
you on even before even you need to search for it. Just for example, I think everyone is using Facebook, you're using Google. I think from sometimes even from your conversation, because when you allow this Google of Facebook to access your mic, actually they're accessing what you are your conversation as well, right? It's quite scary but that one is a I call it it's also considered event triggered based, right? So you say something, then they track you. Okay, Charles say that, yeah, he buy fish. Then most probably the next thing that they pass me to whoever that's selling seafood. But I think for an AI to work very intelligent, they look at all aspects. Is the trend of this person maybe um, is like I say that it predicts even before it happens, right?
mm,
If I've been going, let's say if I've been going to this area for so, let's say for example, if I attend a gym, right? If I go to a gym at this Bukit Damansara area pavilion for so many times, right? Then I think once the app track or able to see the trend, maybe you recommend me, hey Charles, right now we have something similar of property around this area or certain gym membership at this area at promoting at certain price. Maybe we like to look at this, right? Uh,
mm.
that is part of I think part of the AI functionality. Um,
Mm. What do you think are the features that you, as an agent and agency, or no, what other features would you think will really support you in your business and of course,
yeah,
yeah.
I think it will help us as an agent or agency and to connect. I think these days, right, market is so huge, right? And
Mm,
how do you reach out to the owner? Just now you mentioned one of the most important uh, person in this whole ecosystem, I think, is the owner because they are holding the stocks, right, of
mm,
the property.
that's
And
right.
if you look at the whatever out there, they left this out, and for agent to reach them, actually, agent just using portal to attract owner to able to see them, then go to that agent. And sometimes it's not necessary they are going to the right agent. Maybe the agent that spend a lot on advertising, they get that exposure, but
Yeah.
they might not the right agent. So I think from the apps, I can see that if the apps able to see certain agent that might be right for this owner, when the owner trying to upload or trying to list their property for sale,
Mm,
the the app can be potentially also recommend that, hey, do you want to look at Charles? Charles is potential agent that working in this area. He's the hyper local agent that he has number of listing in your area that you wanted to
mm.
let or sell. Right. I think that is something that will bring the owner and the agent closer, and it benefits both parties.
Yeah, so sometimes when you, of course, when you're looking into these apps in making sure that you are able to actually be much better as an agent, but actually currently, what is it? What other things that you guys have already also started doing as well in terms of promoting, in utilizing this tech?
Um, I think most. most of the agents still very traditional, right? Advertising is part of the thing that they wanted to do, and it won't. They don't invest a lot of technology. But you look at other places like United States, right? Um, you able to view or buy a house just with looking at the 360 VR virtual reality. I think part of the component in the ProppyApp that's being listed is a VR function. There's also a quick also when you look at the market right now for 2020 after the COVID, I think how people behave is different as well. Imagine today, an agent is a person that meet the most human around. And you don't know whether this agent is safe for you to meet, right? And for your and if you look again, just like myself, I wouldn't want to meet any agent right now. There must be a solution to bring this closer. I think technology is the only way. Can I say that?
I guess in the way we are also moving slowly into already, as the pandemic is already showing us that more and more things are being moved and being transferred into mobile, into the technology. And that is why I think we are focusing for the marketplace a lot more of these features that will be able to support both the homeowners, the property owners, as well as the agents. If you can look at it, some of these features that is being listed out here, where
another one that useful at the moment is I think get a guide. Someone briefed me about this functionality. Is imagine today you are in Johor Bahru and you have a house in Penang. You can't travel interstate. You look at the news, right? MKN say that if we haven't reached to a certain level, 70% of people haven't vaccinated, you are not allowed to cross any state.
Correct.
So this will deter certain opportunity. Imagine today you have a prospect that wanted to buy a house or rent a house for your house in Penang, and that owner is in Johor. How do you can't even fly, and how do you get people to help, right? Basically, that functionality is, I believe is you can put it up, someone to grab a job. Am I right, Evan?
That's right. And I think this is a very strong value that actually can give both sides, because it also allows young agents to actually pick up these jobs. And as you perform more of these jobs, and you get it is also right now where you can also get a verified status, and of course an endorsed status in this platform, to create a very credible trust net. We also ensure that our MVPs, which is our most valuable propians, which are the agents, that they need to be verified, in a sense, and then you can give endorsements. So nowadays, when you use Grab or Grab rider, you can see, who is it
that is rating there to them, right?
Correct. This rating, and nowadays we are doing a lot of all these credit ratings to ensure we the people who are coming onto this platform will be able to feel that is credible. And it's interesting because now also I think the dependence on agents in the past. We've always depended a lot on agents, but I think we are also moving to a more self-autonomous society, where you can, post on Facebook, social media, go on YouTube. Everybody is almost like a content creator themselves, and I'm sure the future homeowners in the next 15 or 20 years, they are going to be very apt in putting up their own videos. And some of them are probably going to be better at taking the videos of their home than an agent.
I just want to say that some owners take a better videos,
better photos also.
Yes.
Yeah. And we go by this dictum that everything is for sale at the right price, isn't it, Vivian? Which means that everything can also be sold.
Yeah, when you say everything is up for sale for the right price, that means we are also talking about retail, selling and buying items here, right?
Yeah. So not just homes, not just homes.
Not just homes.
Because
Everything
you can cover
else
everything else.
Yeah, everything else that makes a house our home. Even
I know
pre-loved
you.
and
I
used
know you just
items.
renovated your house, which is you started buying a lot of things. I know you love
Oh
buying
my
stuff.
God. Yeah. It's not just now. I've been buying a lot of things since I started earning money. I can't help it. Yeah. So we can even be talking about pre-loved and used items here, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and
And
and and it's interesting because I think we we tend to only focus on one particular area of buying and selling with regards to the property apps. And my question is, if we are already out there reaching out to homeowners, to property people who are renting, and that is also another avenue for business to come in as well, which means that people are also going to be able to use this network to buy and sell items, whether it's pre-loved items, and I think this is an amazing opportunity as well. I'm not sure whether you find it
I love
useful.
this. Yeah, I love this because I think one of you don't have to go to so many platforms to do on the
yeah.
same thing. I think the ecosystem is very important. Whatever related to the home, the house, right?
I
Yeah.
Actually, I
It's
can't
very
wait
Everything.
for
important.
this. I can't wait for this platform. In fact, I'm also in a conundrum because I left my home in Cambodia, unattended, and and unfortunately for more than 9 months, it was my apartment is like half rented to my my housemate. So my room, my half of the apartment and all my table and sofa, everything else
And
is
the
left there.
paintings, I remember the paintings. You had
The
new
painting is
paintings
mine.
there,
I'm not going
right?
to sell the painting.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but the thing is that it allows us an opportunity to also sell if pre-loved items if we are moving away to another state or another country.
Yeah, I think we're focusing here. What we're focusing here is of course like household items like furniture, but it could also be pre-owned other things, fashionable items. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share a few things about this. Like probably pre-love, it's actually a place for users to buy and sell their used items, right? And actually Proppy app, we are a big advocate for green economy, and sustainable shopping
Mm,
is definitely growing in recent years, right?
yeah,
I'm going to share with you some statistics here, right? For the past 3 years, I think all of us here, we know eBay, right? For the past
yeah.
Yes.
3 years, yeah, there was a 31% increase in secondhand listings on eBay for the past 3 years. And
Wow.
despite the pandemic, yeah, online secondhand shopping, it keeps going up. It's only logical, right? There is an online marketplace for used fashion in the UK. It's called
Mm,
Poshmark. Yeah, its user base, according to them, has jumped to 60 million. With
mm,
their sellers from just a few months, from March to June last year,
mm.
they were sharing an astonishing 60 million listings every day, which is
Wow.
actually the double the numbers recorded prior to COVID-19. So
Wow.
actually, this is as we can see, like this is the future trend for shopping. It's not even a far future. We are talking about millennials, the Gen Zs here. Younger shoppers are the ones really powering this pre-owned trend. It's this Gen Zs, those age 23 and below. Actually, the yeah 23 and below, like 25, 23 and below, they are driving the second-hand shopping trend now. And according to another online thrift store based in the US, it's called ThreadUp. 80% of this age group say that there is actually no stigma at all associated with buying used items, and they
Ma-
also found, yeah,
Marie Kondo say, give joy, give joy,
yeah,
give, or sell away your books. Keep
yeah,
only
you're
five
right,
books.
correct, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
but I'm not going to put it on Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace have such a bad reputation.
Correct, correct. What we are creating here is actually a review and rating base, which is much more trustable, credible platform here.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and also, I want to share something about something more local here. Carousel. Carousel is very popular among Malaysian users, right?
Yeah.
And do you know that 70% of Carousel's users are actually millennials, ages between 20 to 35. And last year during the MCO period, the first MCO 1.0 lah, there were 1.2 million searches for work from home equipment. So
Do
during
you
this period, yeah,
do you fall under that category? Did you also went in?
yeah,
Did you?
millennials here. Yeah.
Wow, that is a huge potential
I
for
do
people
sell
to
on this
sell.
platform as well.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And how do you find being I mean the experience in selling on that
I
platforms?
must say, it's really a very satisfying
Mm,
experience. That being
mm,
able to sell things that you don't use anymore.
mm,
Instead of just putting that living there at a corner of the house, waiting
yeah.
for it to break down or
Yeah, but
yeah.
if it's already so satisfying over there, why they need to migrate over here to Proppy, on Proppy Pre-Live?
Okay, just I wanted to share. I have so many folders in my phone. I have so many folders in my phone, like shopping all in the same folder, and then like office all in the same folder. I think Proppy it's a multifunctional app. It's a super app. It's a whole ecology for the real estate and property industry, right? So I think, yeah, and with our AI system helps to, like just now Charles was saying, it helps to recognize it's learning our
Shopping
needs and
behavior.
wants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
behavior.
my shopping behavior. Yeah. Actually, I liked it. I like sometimes I just couldn't find the thing that I want. Let's say I need a cup here. A Starbucks. No lah, sorry. Just a double layer vacuum
Yeah.
coffee glass.
Yes.
But sometimes I just couldn't. I just can't think of the whole name. So I just
Yeah.
search for in hopes that the related searches will come out. So I think that's what's really good about the AI system. It's learning our behavior, and
So
yeah,
Charles, you have
why
one
not, right?
potential buyer here, in the
Yes.
future. One buyer,
Yeah, I'll search for the related items so that
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
yeah,
those who have shopped online, I think
yeah,
normally, just like Vivian say, sometimes when you search for the vacuum glass, right, they will also recommend you something else as well. So
correct.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you are buying more than the glass.
Oh
You
yeah, of
buy
course.
other stuff.
I'm
But
happy
but
to
but
buy
some
those
some
things.
some people are not happy when you track so much. What do you say to that?
But I don't think that is track. That is looking into. They are just referring
Yeah,
something to you, and you have the rights not to buy, right? But
yeah,
it saves your time to let's say today, Vivian have bought her coffee, this double layered vacuum glass, and she realized that she didn't have the capsule or coffee bean, right?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Maybe the machine just say that, hey, I maybe for Vivian is also okay. Now I see the coffee capsule. Maybe I don't have the machine to use the capsule, so they also will recommend. Okay, now it's a bundle. Why not get it and you at certain price? It will attract. Um, it will. I say one thing is it gives convenience. So
yeah.
she don't need to search for capsule again. She don't need to search for machine, and everything is they learn about her behavior. It can be so simple that she'll look for something, and it also recommended something else for her to solve her problem.
Yeah. So if she's looking for a
That
house, she's
comes.
looking for furniture, and if she's actually looking for like bridal gown,
Yeah.
then the next one is to look for a husband, like to look for a boyfriend to
Somehow, right, Ivan? I know you were gonna say something about that. Somehow, in your
All right.
tone.
In my tone, is it? All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So I'm just gonna reset for the audience, and then of course, time is actually very short now. I'm not sure whether
Yeah.
we're gonna be able to fulfill our 90 minutes, but just to reset, you're here to listen to us talk a little bit more about Proppy. We are sharing a little bit more in terms of the modules. Why we decided to get move into this realm right now because of the way in which the technological trend is moving, and of course what is Proppy, and later on we're going to talk about a bit more of the how and Proppy. But of course I think the next most exciting part is this extended layer that actually covers a huge area in terms of home required services, and there's a lot of home required services out there in that is required. It's like A to Z. We are always looking for either someone to come and repair a house or repair a home. The other day, I'm sure happened. Whenever I had to go through a lot because my gate problem lah, and then my Wi-Fi got problem, and then I got my roofing problem, and then it started raining, and then I tell you, I don't know what to do. Seriously.
You have so many different cards on your fridge. I think that's the most. I remember I always keep those cards, and actually I have discussed on them. Then go to the app.
And how would you? How would this solve your problem?
I don't need a husband anymore.
That's
you were saying.
yeah, exactly. Yes. You just smashed every boy, every
You were talking about looking for a husband.
No need, no need, correct. No need,
no
need. Yeah, right.
Because a ProppyCast, just to share a bit, it's here to care for us, for our home. It's everything we need, everything we need after owning a home. It connects us with the merchants, right? Like here it's for the repairing works, air conditioners or cleaning services, plumbing. So probably we don't need.
I tell you, those guys who are listening right now is like, man, ProppyCast is going to kill all our opportunities, man. Yeah, but actually it's true, especially for women and single mothers or single ladies, you're living alone. In fact, there's a lot of people who live alone. And sometimes it also raises this question, if you ask somebody to come and fix, I think there's a lot of security, not risk, but fear. It's more fear. Of course, there's also risk and concerns, isn't it? Or even when their husbands are out working or whatever, but then like you say, you have ProppyCast. What's the point of having a...
Can I add in something like...
Of course.
Actually, I like Proppy because I think the super app, just like your wallet, how many cards that you have in your wallet, right? Basically, I don't sign up anything more. So you relate this to your phone, your smartphone. You have so many apps that... Let's say you want services, then you have to install another app. Let's say you want to sell houses, find houses, you have to install another app. And you wanted... second-hand, just now when Vivian says second goods, you install another app, and you look at this ProppyCast. I think easily you need to, if it's for normal apps, you need to install 4 to 5 apps to solve all this. So add up together, I think you fill up a page of your smartphone screen.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, correct.
I just don't. I personally, I don't like to have so many things cluttered on my screen, and the same for your wallet as well, right? That's why sometimes when I stop at doing some brick and mortar purchase shopping, they ask me, do you want to sign up for this membership? I always ask them, do you have an application for that? If they say no, I say, never mind, it's okay. I don't need whatever point that you give me. I'm okay, because anyway, I'm not going to carry the cards around, right? Because it's so troublesome.
But actually, this is non-exhaustive, If you really look at each one of these services, we tried, when we were looking and we were creating this, we tried to think of all potential and possible services that we feel people would need. But actually, it's almost non-exhaustive because it covers everything under the sun, even the professional services that will probably be required, especially for signing S&P, getting the legal advice or even insurance. But I'm not quite sure what this Proppy Pink is now.
Yeah. Okay. So under Proppy Pink, it's called pink because in Chinese, right? Pink means combining or joining,
No, that's why I'm a China Murtad. That's why I say pink. I say pink color. Hello, I thought it's like pink lady,
yeah. Okay. So
I see.
so pink.
I see.
Pink. That means it's for group buying.
I see.
Yeah. So it's not just for, and Proppy Pink is not just for goods or groceries, no. And users initiate a group buying post for even services.
Yeah.
So let's say, So this is a very strong aspect. Let's say we just bought a house. There will be at least some renovation that we want to do, right?
Yeah.
Let's say we want to change to a safety door. Like I think most of the people are changing to safety doors. I'm not sure about you. Yeah. So let's say we want to change that. No, we want to install a safety door. So a user can initiate a group buying post to buy and install safety doors. So yeah, and even with the with the location detection settings, right? People around the same area, they could come in together for the same deals. Then when the post gets a certain amount of buyers, then these buyers can get much cheaper price from the merchant.
Volume,
so of course,
from the volume.
yeah, they get the volume, right? Yeah. So of
Volume.
course this helps buyers lah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also looking, I mean, this kind of group buy, meaning you don't even need to know who that person is, correct, isn't it?
Yeah,
That means you
don't.
just tumpang lalu only, right?
Tumpang.
All right,
Correct,
as long as you
correct.
hit a certain volume, then we get that price. That's amazing because it's like strangers coming together, and and this is almost like a decentralized concept, right? Strangers coming together, buying, and then making sure the big players give you the cheap price.
Yeah.
And this is one way of really hitting out at the big players.
This actually helps them as well, the merchants. You
Yeah.
imagine turning on a ProppyApp, launching a ProppyApp. There are like 20, 30 buyers for your products.
Yeah, that's amazing as well. And of course, it doesn't, that when we talk about just this, it doesn't just be it doesn't have to be to C, B2B. You can actually connect other developers, property developers. You can connect the interior designers to property developers. You can also connect other B2B, because a lot of times when we tend to think, is it only just B2C? But actually it covers everybody in the entire ecosystem. And this is something which I think is amazing, that allows the entire ecosystem and every player to have a part to play as well.
See, everything we see in your home, right? In this picture, everything needs a home, not just a house, it's a home, Everything else that makes a home more, everything can be found in ProppyApp.
Yeah, but if you're only going to stay by yourself, that's going to be so sad. Such a nice home, and we talk about next part, isn't it? Which is actually buying a home. And for someone who doesn't have a home yet, maybe it's time to consider buying a home. Charles, maybe it's time you connect and then say buy a home. And I think this is the third and final part where we want to explain here, is where we feel it's a real game changer, because when we talk about property marketplace or property cash, it's still that buying and selling. It's still that option of utilizing this listing platforms and market your property cash is also listing onto a platform to sell. But what is this mortgage optimization plan? And I think it's very 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 crucial for us. And Vivian is definitely going to be building her own career and family, and looking into buy a house. What is the first thing that you need to consider?
Well, I was of course I considering price let's say, okay, because I told you, right, I look for a house for the boyfriend, right, for the ex-boyfriend,
for the
ex-boyfriend.
Okay, yes.
It was on 600.
Okay.
So like the normal procedure or the consideration would be like, okay, we put down 10% down payment, and then people will be telling us that, okay, we have to fork out roughly like about 3,000 a month, right? So I have to pay for another the next 35 years. Well, yeah, 3,000 a month. Okay, we can do that lah. So that's all. Yeah, that's all. That's all that we'll be considering.
So which means a lot of people just consider the fact that, okay, when they want to buy a house, they will consider it 600,000, and then they pay 3,000 every month for, and then that means their consideration is how much they're willing to fork out each month. If it's 3,000 and they look into maybe their salary or a joint salary, pulling together, cover up everything else, 3,000 goes into our mortgage repayment, our home loan repayment, whether it's 35 and how long, normally 35 years or 25 years, actually that consideration doesn't come into play, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I don't even question that.
Yeah, Charles, what do you say?
too long, because 35 years is really too long for us.
Yeah,
to
I'll be paying until 70 years old.
and a lot of people
65,
don't
70
even,
years
but
old.
a lot of people don't
We
bother
don't
about that
question
as well. They don't
We
question
don't
that.
question that.
Yeah, they don't question that because they just look into, okay, I pay 3,000, I pay 3,000. You know, if I
Yeah.
can pay 6,000, I pay 6,000. But
Yeah.
the fact is that the longer they'll pay. But actually, do you realize that?
Evan,
Yeah.
yeah, this also comes to the age. Like I think last time when we chat about this is when I was younger, I don't maybe when I was as young as Vivian time, right? I don't consider this as well, right? I don't look at that. And when I'm in my 40s, I start to wanted to um, pay a shorter period of time because I don't want to pay until the age of 70. So I just pay more every month.
Yeah.
And but I think the challenge is I cannot track it how fast,
and you don't know whether you're paying at the right amount that you're supposed to be,
or how accurate, right?
How accurate. Yeah. And do you know actually there is such a functionality that actually helps you diagnose your home loan, and this is actually based on this question that we asked: are you happy with the home loans and mortgage repayment? So if I were to ask you this question, and if you're paying your home loans and you started with your ex-boyfriend at that point in time, were you happy, paying your home loan?
The first thought is that, like, what kind of question is this? You mean I have an option to not be happy with it?
And that is
because we never questioned.
Yeah, because we never
really thought
questioned.
about this. Yeah,
I think we never question, and we don't even bother asking ourselves whether or not. But if we were to ask everybody who's listening right now, that have you actually done a diagnosis on your home loans? Do you even know what it means? That means if you actually take your home loan, and we can actually, there is a calculation, there is a software, there is an algorithm that will be able to identify whether or not you are actually paying the right amount that you're supposed to be paying to the bank. And there is a very high percentage, in fact, almost close to 100%, that every time when you do a diagnosis, like for example, you're supposed to pay 3,000 if your loan tenure is such and such a period of time, and then if you key in that, if you diagnose, very high possibility that you are not paying at the right amount, and even at the discrepancy of 1%, do you realize that the consequences is going to be huge? That you might end up paying more than a couple, not 100,000, but actually it's going to be more than even 10,000 potentially, depending on your time. So the question right now is that if you have an option to diagnose your home loan, would you do it?
Why not?
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to know whether you end up paying the right one, and especially when you're 40 now, you say, okay, I want to cut short my repayment. Of course, I'm just saying that Charles is actually 40 lah. So you're saying that Vivian is 30 lah. All right, so
reveal both our age.
and you wish you were 30. But the question is there a way to cut? Is there a way to cut short? And if you know that there's a way to cut short, will you cut short?
Why not?
Why not?
I will definitely.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, that's why. And so at the end of the day, if I ask you this question, have you done enough to diagnose? Have you done a diagnose? Not yet, but why not? Is there a way to cut short? If there a way, why not? Correct? And do you know that you can also reduce the time it takes to pay home loans and mortgages? And that's going to be a huge, significant a reduction to your mortgage reduction. Why would you?
Yeah, I think this is no-brainer. It's something that I remember just now I say that consumer are also smarter. That means I also smarter right now, right? that wanted to have a shorter repayment period.
Yeah.
I think many are not aware that sometimes if you late by a day of banking in the your repayment, it can also resulted some certain extra amount that you need to pay at the end of the tenure. I think not many people are aware. They thought that, okay, if it's a day, still okay, not too bad. But imagine every month you do that for the next 10 years. Right? It'll be very, very different.
It is money as well. When I actually did it was blown. Actually, there is such a assertion and that there is a better, that you can actually, because home loans are the biggest burden for all of us right now. Even though it's just $3,000 a month, but $8,000 every month that we unfortunately just pay using the mortgage optimization plan feature, that it can help you save money. It can help you reduce the time it takes for you to pay back your mortgage mortgage repayment, which means that at the end of the day, you're actually paying more for the interest than you are actually paying your home loans. So if I were to give you an example, that if you say, for example, you're paying 800,000, I say, for example, your house was 600, but now let's say 800,000, and you take 30 years, every month you pay 3,000, and if you continue paying every month without question everything, you are actually going to be paying full amount, sometimes 2 times more or more. That means more than 2 times, in fact. And this is just a very modest calculation that in the end, after paying 30 years, you end up paying for that house $1.6 million. Can you imagine? You spend 30 years of your life with your ex-boyfriend, and then you end up paying, and then say 1.2 million someone. So luckily you left and come and join Proppy, give you life after Proppy, And when you have life after Proppy, you have your mortgage optimization plan that if up to save 50% of your mortgage repayment, you save 15 years, which means that your interest that you end up paying to the bank, you save by 400,000, which means your total is actually so much less than what you have. But actually, there are a few variations. You can choose to pay whether it's only 10% or 75% of the time taken. Each will have its advantages and disadvantages. What we are saying, it's a mortgage. It is the most optimized amount that will be able to help you repay without you burning a pocket. At the same time, it reduces the time, and it's less time that you end paying, and also that you are able to pay a little bit more every month. And this is a service. This is a service that we feel that for Proppy, it helps you cut down your tree with a sickle. You don't need to go and get a lumberjack, or you don't need to go and get this. You can really cut down a huge burden in your life, especially. And this is why we feel this is such a fantastic opportunity, because right now it deals straight with homeowners. All right. And that's where we use our AI butler, our butler service that will be able to, if you look at the entire system, this AI butler service helps you monitor and track your mortgage repayment. It will diagnose your mortgage repayment, gives you the most optimized plan, and then it will also help you track, give you notification. Yet at the same time, it is an AI functionality that will be able to also see, whatever filter that you have fixed. Say, for example, you want to buy a new house, or you want to actually rent out your room. If you have a new house, you want to rent out your room, you will also know exactly what is the price out there. And just like what Charles has mentioned, this actually is a functionality that is the future. Data is the future, and this is why we feel it is so important. But I'm gonna add on one more stage, which is the ambassador program, because this is such a good. I wouldn't say it's such a good service, but actually it is currently being used by people who are very smart with their money. Sometimes we tend to say, hey, how come you can buy a house, so many houses, how come you can reinvest? Actually, a lot of people, there are not many people who knows about this. It is actually a hidden secret. In fact, that's why the topic for today is shh, we have a secret to share with you. And this secret is to say that this actually is a functionality that has been used so that you can actually totally optimize your cash and then roll your money to be able to invest and reinvest into your other. Let's say, for example, you already fully paid your house, and then you can refinance your house. And in order to pay back, you don't have to wait for another 30 years. You have got existing cash from your refinancing, and when you subscribe to the MOP, the mortgage optimization plan, you then will be able to pay your mortgage at half the amount that you would normally pay. So actually, it really does help you save money. at the same time make money through an affiliate ambassadorship program. If this ambassadorship program for me is my most exciting element in this entire system, because it's the distribution layer. It is the one that actually helps organic growth and really burst and explode in terms of user base. How? Because we have an affiliate marketing business model that will be able to enhance, pass and refer and get more and more and more. And I think in this current climate that we are in, I think people are also stuck at home. And even if you want to create a business, whether it's online marketing or digital marketing, a lot of times when you are doing any other sort of marketing, you will require still the distribution network, whether it's the logistics or even the packaging, right? And eventually, even if you want to create, you need to buy stock, you need to have stock. But for this, it is a digitally native product. And this product is actually to help other people who have similar issues with their mortgage repayment. Because I think last year when we were in our lockdown, even though we were given a 6-month moratorium, that 6-month moratorium is actually quite a killer. If you go back and check your moratorium, your statement, actually that 6 months is not that they don't count. It's just an extension, which means that you are now owing more money. And how do you? Yes. And if the moment you actually pass this on to someone else and they register, all right, can do your diagnosis of your current mortgage for free for limited time only. And those you can actually already do that just by your, and it's free. You don't have to pay $1,000 or $2,000 just to do a diagnosis. And once you do a diagnosis, then you will see whether or not you are currently even paying at the right amount. And if you're not paying at the right amount, then you need to know what you're supposed to pay. But at the same time, instead of just knowing what amount, the right amount to pay, you can also subscribe to get the most optimized amount if you want to reduce your repayment. So actually this is, I feel it's fantastic because it allows other people to come in and you can create a business model. You can really create a business model and create, a team. And when you come in, you will be able to be trained through Proppy Academy, through Proppy Embassy, and there is a whole ecosystem to support the ambassadorship program. And this is where I feel is the most exciting, because you have marketplace out there, you have the Proppy Cats out there, but with Proppy Ambassador and the MOP, it's really going to take this to the next level. Exciting, isn't it, Charles?
Yes, very.
Yeah. All right. So why we also feel, if I were to share some numbers, because Vivian sharing numbers, I also need to share numbers lah. Because she was sharing a numbers of how many user for all the secondhand sales. Here, if you look at it, the current housing loans that is actually a source from Bank Negara, it shows that we are at 650 billion. There is 650 billion ringgit worth of housing loans out there. That means there are 650 billion people, 600 billion ringgit, where people who owns homes are owing money to the bank. All right. So when you actually look into this, there is a huge potential market for homeowners who do not understand, who do not know about this plan that will be able to help them save their mortgage repayment. And this is why I feel that this is definitely going to take it to the next level. So I think we have spoken a lot about this. I'm not sure if there's any question, and I think I'm going to leave this part one, and part two will come back maybe next week. We'll talk a lot more about the context. What does it mean to us in the market? What does it mean to us? Why is this team the right team to take us to the next level? But for this stage where we are at, and I think we are already gone past our 90 minutes, I do not want to take any more time. But if I were to actually stop sharing here at this point of time, maybe I would like to get some questions from the audience if they are interested to find out a little bit more about what we have. But I would like to end, of course, to show you also a little bit in terms of how this entire ecology work. All right, so do not go anywhere. I'm just going to end with this final. So if you were to just take your phone right now, and if you were to download Proppy, you will be considered a browser. That means you are just a potential. You could be a potential buyer if you want to look for a house. And what you need to do is you need to download and register Proppy. So when you register as a Proppy, you will be a user. And once you're a user, we will give you Proppy points. So this is like a rebate point that you get also with Grab and that kind of thing. So once you are done, you're a user. Then of course, as a user, then you can also we will also ask you if you have your property, if you key in a property, like say for example, if you're a homeowner or a tenant, then of course we will also incentivize you with more property points. So the more things that you add value into the system, where the AI will also be able to collect this data to help with the entire ecosystem, we will also reward you with property points. And once you're an owner, our property butler will come into the picture, and they will contact you and say, hey, hi, you are do you know the price of property in your area? And of course, they will also prompt you, do you have a home loan? Would you like to diagnose your home loan? And eventually, let's say if you've decided that, okay, I'm going to sign up and subscribe to mortgage optimization plan, then you become a master, and within them, and then ProppyApp, Proppy Butler will notify you and make sure that you pay on time. And when you pay on time, we will also incentivize you with more Proppy points. So actually, the Proppy point system as a rebate system is to incentivize behavior, positive behavior, and we reward positive behavior. But what is the use of Proppy points? Eventually, our Proppy points can be used to redeem for services, or even be staked for other services within the property ecology and the ecosystem. So this is under mortgage optimization plan. And of course, mortgage optimization plan, if you've decided to, be an ambassador, and then for you can reach out to more users, more potential users. And this is one system by itself. So if you look at it on the left side, this in itself is its whole ecology, and it's a huge ecology which has already run businesses in many other industries, many other products as well. And so what is the key product here is our marketplace, is our listing, is our property. If you want to buy and sell, obviously you can also look into here where you connect to the agents and the agencies, and they become MVPs. All right, and through our Proppy chat functionality, you can connect with them. And then this is our Proppy pre-love, where you can buy and sell used items. It falls under our buy and sell functionality. And finally, our extended layer, where we can connect to tradesmen, merchants. It's a whole list of services that is required, where we can also connect with professionals. And then, of course, like what Vivian has mentioned, we can ping tuo together, group buy. And this in itself is also non-exhaustive, because Proppy, this is where we put into the market. And I would say that we are going to make an announcement, and I'm going to make an announcement on the 30th of March. We are going to do our first market launch to reach out to merchants and putting ourselves out there into the market. So you've heard it here first. Of those of you who are listening in, on the 30th of March, we are going to go public in some ways. And so this is in a nutshell what we do, in a nutshell of why we do what we do. Obviously, how we do, what do we do next? I would really like to open up this time. I know that time is extended. I'm so sorry, but thank you also for staying on with us. I hope that you have enjoyed our very informal conversation together with Charles and the beautiful and vivacious and amazing and sensational.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And maybe if you would like to allow everyone else to just come in and have a quick chit chat, or if you have any questions that you'd like to ask us, any one of the three of us, and we would love to answer it. Otherwise, we are going to very quickly close our session for tonight. We're going to continue part B next week. Thank you very much, guys, for coming in. I just want to wish everybody a fantastic weekend. At the same time, come back again next week. We have our regular sessions, our regular Saturday pitch Mandarin session on Saturdays from 9 to 10, 10:30, 11, about the same time. And of course, we are also going to be creating more sessions like this, whether it's the mortgage optimization training, optimization plan training, and of course our Proppy podcast in English. We are going to be launching other content very, very soon. One of it is our podcast in Mandarin, and also we're going to be having our regular English pitch session here on Sunday. So thank you very much again to Vivian as well as Charles and all of you who are listening in. We wish you all the best. Stay safe, stay home, protect yourself, family, and we'll see you again in the next Proppy podcast. Cheers. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.